Hello, I'm Dominic Walker, JMW's Inside Man. My guest is Paul Chamberlain. Paul is the head of employment law at JMW. So, Paul, I believe there's a trial of a 4-day week. What exactly is it?
There is a trial of a 4-day week, and there appears to have been some sort of political momentum which has given rise to this. It is a trial. There are just under 3,500 workers who are going to be impacted, 70 companies in the UK who are taking part in the trial. And they range from local fish and chip shops through to large financial institutions. They're going to say to their employees, work a 4-day week with no loss of pay. And what we want from you is effectively that you maintain your level of productivity. So in other words, be as productive over 4 days as you were over 5, and we'll continue to pay you for 5 days.
And there may be employers who are worried about that 4 days, same amount of pay. Is it compulsory for them to do this?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, this is a voluntary trial, and there are lots of research institutions who are looking very closely at the data. We've got people from Cambridge and Oxford University looking at this, as well as other campaign groups. So there'll be a consideration of how it impacts on productivity, positively or negatively, how it impacts on the business's outcomes, and how it impacts on the individual employees. But no, it isn't compulsory. I think what they're hoping is that at the end of the trial, there'll be some data which then other employers can look at when they decide whether or not this might be something for them. But it's very much a voluntary trial at the moment.
And there may be employers who think, well, actually, we'd like to try out doing, maybe a 4-day week. How can you help employers who'd like to do something like that?
Yeah, and we can certainly talk to employers about it. Again, there are legal issues that arise. I mean, the model itself, it might just be worthwhile talking a little bit about the model. It's based on the 100, 80, 100 model, which is 100% of pay for 80% of time. But the caveat or the condition is that we'll give you 100% of your pay for 80% of your time, but you agree as the employee to aim to maintain 100% productivity. Now, there can be all sorts of issues that arise out of this type of approach. There can be issues around morale. There can be issues about creating possibly a 2-tier workforce. You may have some people who don't want to do 80% of the time for 100% of the pay. There could be issues around childcare, domestic arrangements that are impacted either positively or negatively. So it's not true to say that just because it looks good, it's a panacea for everybody. It can create difficulties. And of course, when we get difficulties in the workplace, there's always the potential for disputes and ultimately litigation. So we as a firm of lawyers can help manage the implementation of the scheme, if that's what the employer wants to do. And almost as importantly, then assist if there are any subsequent difficulties, either by way of grievances, disciplinary matters, or ultimately employment tribunal claims.
Paul, thank you very much for your insight. And if you'd like to contact Paul and the employment law team, you can email insideman@jmw.co.uk or call 0161 82 81 999. I'm Dominic Walker, JMW's Inside Man.